Hello again, everyone. Today's video is going to be my rankings of the songs of the Beatles album Revolver. Here. I am going to go once again from the bottommost to the toppermost, um, from 14 to 1. This video is going to be a little different from the previous ranking videos I've done. I will not be cutting away, there will not be number cards. It will just be me going through the songs, saying a little something, and moving on. So, without any further ado, let's hit number 14. And number 14 uh, is probably going to be, once again, another shocker to some people, but it's just where I put it at. Every song on here has its own qualities, and it's good in its own way. This song, however, is loved by many, but not by me. It's here, there, and everywhere. Everybody okay? Still hanging with me? Okay. Um, it's just a song that I've never particularly cared for. I've tried to like it, just hasn't worked. I don't know what it is. It's just not for me. Now, there are other songs that may be similar to that McCartney does that I'd like. This just isn't one of them. But something's got to be at the bottom, and it's this one. And moving to number 13 is, unfortunately, Yellow Submarine. Uh, it's a it's a fun song for children. I liked it when I was young. The only good thing about it is the sound effects in them kind of playing around in it, especially John. Recently, I heard the John Lennon. It's about a minute, I'd say, um, little demo version from the new release, the remastered from recently, and that one's kind of a. It's I would really have loved to hear a full version of it. It's kind of sad, and you can tell it's got a completely different direction going, and then somehow became a kid's song. But so probably won't hear that version. Um, but so we're got at number 13, Yellow Submarine. Number 12 is Dr. Robert, and I believe I heard recently that Dr. Robert is John writing about himself. He's Dr. Robert. That's interesting if that's the truth. It's a decent song. It's not one of the better ones, but not bad. At number 11 is George's Love You Too. Uh, Now, a good song, not the best song by George on here, who happens to have three songs. Um, when I was at college, quick story. When I was at college, there was a morning radio show, and they would call or talk to Guru Bob. Some people might remember it that happened to hear that morning show. They called Guru Bob, and they always played this guitar at the beginning of Love You Too. It's always something that stuck in my head. So every time I hear the song, I always think of Guru Bob. At number 10 is And Your Bird Can Sing. I think this is becoming a more popular song with Beatles fans now. I think recently on a Sirius XM fan countdown or count up, And Your Bird Can Sing was high. I think John's highest song on the list, and it's a really good song. These are You're getting into the songs where, because this album is just a classic. It's right up there at the top of my favorite albums. So it's going to be really hard to position these songs. That leads to number 9, which is Good Day Sunshine. I know a lot of people tend to not like this song for some reason and tend to put it lower on their list. But I think it's at a good spot on there. I really like the boom, boom, boom. I really like that. And it's kind of a happy song when you hear it. At number 8 is Taxman. This probably a few years ago would have been a little higher up on my list. It was a favorite song of mine when I was a kid, of course, because this album was the second album I ever bought with my own money. Probably the second album I ever bought. My parents weren't into buying me albums that much when I was that age. But anyway, this was the second album that I had purchased, and Taxman was the song that I always liked on there. Number 7 is Got to Get You Into My Life. And for a long time, even I think this may have been the song that got me interested in Revolver, because I had heard Got to Get You Into My Life by Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I believe McCartney did it on Wings Over America. I thought it was a Paul McCartney song. Found out it was a Beatles song, even though my mom was a big Beatles fan, and so was my brother. I was not paying attention very well. So I thought that Got to Get You Into My Life was a McCartney song. Found out it was a Beatles song, and I really liked it. And it's at number 7 on my list. At number 6 is She Said, She Said, a song written by John that involves Peter Fonda. I'm not going to go into that story, but I think it finishes side 1 the correct way. What am I going to look at that for? I need the big guns back there. But it's a really good song by John, and it's one that I really like. Not so many other people do as much as I do, I guess. Okay, the top 5 are going to get tough. These are interchangeable in some ways. Maybe not for some. Particularly one song might not be in the top 5 for some people. Number 5, and this one was a tough one, is Eleanor Rigby. It could be easily up higher than this, but right now it's here. It is a extremely well done song. I've always enjoyed the song. It definitely catches you right away and kind of sucks you in. It was a very different song for the Beatles at that time. So great vocals by Paul. So number 5, Eleanor Rigby. Number 4, some people probably wouldn't have it here, a lot of people, and that's George's song, I Want to Tell You. I've always liked this song, and I've only grown to like it more as I've gotten older. I just like the song, the whole structure of the song, lyrics, everything. It's just one of my favorite George Harrison songs. At number 3 is I'm Only Sleeping. When I was in high school, I heard an evening radio show, and they were playing the new CDs when they came out. When they released the CDs in around 87, 88. I think it was around 88 when I heard it. I had heard I'm Only Sleeping, but I didn't realize that it was on Revolver, because I only had the US version. And the US version, I wasn't on there. So when I heard them play it, Taxman, Eleanor Rigby, all of a sudden I'm Only Sleeping comes on. I was like, huh, the hell? But it was great to hear the UK version of Revolver. The US version was good enough. UK version just made it that much better. And it's a wonderful song. That's why it's at number 3. Number 1 and number 2 are, for a long time, number 2 was my number 1 song. And over years, I've really grown to appreciate how good number 1 is, even though others haven't. So I will go with number 2, and that is Tomorrow Never Knows. This was my number 1 song for a long time. It's strange. It's unique. It's all the things I like. It's way out of the comfort zone for the Beatles. And it's a fantastic song through and through. My number 1 song is For No One. I love this song. I don't know what it is. It's simple. It's sad. It's sweet. It's everything that I would want in a nice little song like that. And I will even give a little bit of criticism when I think that it should have one more verse, oddly enough. There's another Beatles song that I will talk about later in a different video that I think needs another verse. It's a song I really like. But For No One is a song that I really love, and I really do enjoy hearing it. And I think it's now the best song on Revolver. So now I will take a time to put up here my previous review that I did a few years ago of Revolver. Oh, that's right, I never did one. This is the only one I've done. So that is my list of Revolver. And I hope you enjoyed this video. A little different than my previous videos. No cutaways, no numbers, no blah, 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 blah. Still some talking. Kept it smooth. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Check out my rest of my videos, Beatles, other videos I have on here. And be on the lookout for my next countdown or count up video, which will be Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. So, until next time,